All right, it is our protocols. Welcome back. This is the one we're going to be walking around a little bit. So if you get dizzy, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to make you dizzy. But let's look at a few things. These are our protocols. We have 4 main protocols, hold in place. Basic example of that is there's something going on in the hallway. We had to call an emergency vehicle. You just need to stay in your room or wherever you're at. Okay, basically you're staying in your room. You're just operating. You're just doing everything just like you normally do. However, it's a good chance that we want the rock to grab the bag that should be in each room. They're going to put on their vest and they're going to have this. Oh, this is a little backpack. Da, 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 da. So go ahead and you're going to put on your backpack. You're going to have it ready and you're going to do a little pre-check on the roll because you'll make sure your roll is accurate just in case something goes from just a hold in place to something a little more, a little more crazy, whatever. Okay, but again, on all these protocols, the rock, there is a backpack in the room hanging on a wall, and they're hanging at the same place that the check-in roll is. Most of them are very close to the doors. On the backpack, you have a vest. You're gonna put on your vest on any of these protocols. So somebody comes yelling down the road, tornado! You are grabbing the backpack, you're putting on your vest, you're grabbing your roll, and you're gonna be checking it twice. In the backpack, you should have 3 cards. 3 cards. This card means, guess what? Oh. Let's put them up right side up. All accounted for. Everybody's here. The next one is, everybody's here, but I need some help. The kid needs to go to the bathroom. I gotta go potty. Maybe they bruise themselves or something. Okay, there you go. And the last one, oh my gosh. We never want to see the red card. This means we have a child missing from our room, on our roll. Oh, God forbid, but we have it just in case, God forbid. Okay, there we go. There's also, because we've actually had the lights go out. Okay, so we have a thing. Guess what? You know what would be a good thing? Just every once in a while, like, 3 or 4 times a year, that the rock goes, hey, I'm going to check that back, make sure those lights work, make sure my flashlight works. Just a thought. There you go. Should be a pin in there. Got your roll, got your backpack, you're ready to go. So, what are the protocols of what can happen? Hold in place. Hold in place, you just stay in your room. Boom. Easy. Easy as can be. Just stay in your room, keep going, everything's good. Second one, on page number 28, tornado. Okay, in Texas, it's tornado. Okay, in Texas, Oklahoma, we got a lot of tornadoes. Actually probably Oklahoma, Kansas has a lot more than us. However, so we're gonna do something. I'm gonna take this off. We're gonna look. I want you to look at the ceiling up here. These are drop panel ceilings, insulated tiles. It makes it sound good. So in our hallway, in our check-in hallway, we have drop ceilings. Oh, in the crawler room, guess what you got? You got that drop ceiling. Over here, you got that drop ceiling. You know what that drop ceiling means? In construction terms, there's just a bunch of metal up above over that. There's not anything that's very safe. And something could literally fall through that if their ceiling or roof has come off and comes right just straight down. Not the safest place. So we have 2 rooms that we consider safe places that all of the children go into. They go into 1 or 2, and your whole class goes into those 2 rooms. So in our 4, 5, 6 room, or this sort of more the conference room that we have, our 4, 5, 6 room, the video room, TV room, whatever you want to call it, it's this room. All of the elementary is in this room. All of them. Okay, door shut. All of the crawler room babies would go into this room. Okay, If you look at the ceiling, look at the difference in the ceiling. The difference in the ceiling is this is a sheetrock ceiling, but up above that ceiling is a floor, and it is our storage area above in the attic. So what this room is an inner wall room. Okay, there is from the outside room to another. You've got 3 walls that something's going to have to come through, as well as you get a hard wooden ceiling that is going to be we are the safest. It is the closest to the inside. Okay, we're not underground, but it's closest. The other room, our nursery toddler room, and our preschool room will evacuate and come into the special needs room. Again, the ceiling is a solid ceiling. We've got more protection to inner wall. Now you go, hold on, but I look at the preschool room, and the preschool room has a solid ceiling. You are correct. But that wall right there is the northwest wall. Tornadoes come from the northwest. So the very first direct hit would be that wall if a tornado was to come. Therefore, our safest 2 rooms are our special needs room and our 4, 5, 6 room. So all kids will go into those rooms, rock, will have their vest on, you'll have your backpack, you'll have your cards, and then when we come around and when the check-in the person or the door security, our security team comes around, and they will say, hey, I need an account. I need to see your cards. And there should be, let's say we have 5 rooms at the time. We should have 5 people with vests on in the room. Okay? Whoever's the rock is the only one that wears the vest. Okay? Not everybody's wearing a vest. Because then we got too many people wearing vests. Okay? Okay. There you go. And then we stay in the room until either the drill is over with or the people, our security team is the one who says, okay, everything's clear. They can come pick up kids now or whatever needs to happen. Boom. That's the tornado. Thank you. We're going to be safe in any tornado here. And I'm just believing that no tornado is going to hit this building. It's going to keep going down the road. All right, our next one is going to be a fire. So the fire, there is a sign on every door. There's a little poster thing that tells you where to go in all these situations. Okay? So, on all of our situations, what you have to understand, so each room, you're moving to a little bit different location, but again, what is the first protocol? If there is a fire that is called and we're having to evacuate for a fire, very first thing the rock does is put on their vest. What's the second thing they do? They're going to get their roll. They'll make sure their roll is accurate. They're going to make sure they got their backpack with their cards on it. Okay? Got to make sure your roll is accurate. This is when we're talking about this is why having the rolls accurate and knowing who is in the room at all times and they're all accounted for is the most critical thing. This is when we're having to leave this building, that's critical. So let's go through all of these rooms down the hallway. Our crawler room, our toddler room, our preschool room, and our special needs room are all leaving and going through the toddler room. You're going to go through the toddler room. You're going to go out the door to the playground door, the outside playground door. I'm going to hit it hard. Oh, this one is so hard to get open. There you go. And then you're going to go out that fence it's like the pool fence, unlocks, open the door. You're going to walk down the back of the building. A lot of y'all didn't even know. Oh yeah, we have a whole back of a building. We're gonna walk out of the building, and then we're gonna walk. I'll show you in a few minutes where we all walk to, but you're gonna walk down the back to the parking lot and across the parking lot. Here we go. You ready? I'm gonna shut that one back. Okay, I'm gonna shut this one back. We're gonna go back through because we're gonna talk about the elementary. Oh, that door's heavy. I'm glad it's heavy. Whew, it's tough. Okay, so who all goes through the back? And here's the reason. Let me explain why we go through the back of the building. When you come into the front of the building, where does everybody go? We always come through the front double doors. The reason we practice and do drills and mainly go out the back for fire and any issue with fire is because we have our electrical panels in the front of the building and our kitchen is in the front of the building. The likelihood of a fire starting would be in the front of the building. So we practice all situations going out the back of the building. That's why we practice. Okay, so elementary. Where do the elementary go in case of a fire? So if they're in the 4th, 5th, 6th grade room and they call for a fire, or you're in the big main room in here and there is a fire called, or they're in the offices, well, guess what? We're going to come out past the sound booth. We're going to pass the red wire, and we're going to come out. We're going to come out this door. And guess where it leads us? Yep. There's the preschool, nursery, crawlers. They're all coming from that area. And here, now we're going to take the walk. You're going to go to the left out the door. And we're going to go across the parking lot. Sorry for the wind. That's what happened. We're going to go across the parking lot. There's going to be a bunch of cars here. Right now today, there's not a lot of cars here. We're going to go across the parking lot. At this time, if there really was a fire, there's probably emergency vehicles that you're hearing, and you're hearing sirens, okay? We're going to come across this parking lot. We're going to be walking in this parking lot, and we're going to be going to a very important spot. Here we go. Here we go. We're not going to stay in this parking lot close to the building. We're going to go to a further spot away from the building. And here we go. We're going to come down here. We're all orderly, and we're going to be picking up. And matter of fact, one of the things I didn't say is our extra workers in the elementary rooms or other rooms, guess what they're going to do? They're going to help the toddlers pick up the children and carry the children. So we're going to be carrying all toddlers and all the babies in the crawler room will all be carried. And then guess where we're at? We're in this square. Let me back out so you can see this square right here. Okay, we're in this square, and everyone, because cars park here, but guess what? They don't park right here in this square. So this square is available, and this is our safety spot for all children's ministry to be. And if you look at it from the building, guess what? We are the furthest spot, but we're also far away from the road. So we're not super close to the road. We're the furthest from the building, but we're still on pavement. And here we are in a place that is safe, okay? And this is where we stay. If there is a fire, at this point, once we get out here, what are we gonna do? Who's supposed to? The Rock's wearing their vest, and what do you got? What do you gotta have? You gotta have your roll, and then you may have people calling from way over there. So see, way over there, wave, Miss Karen. Okay, Miss Karen's waving. Okay, so somebody way over there is waving, and they're holding up a green or a yellow or a red, and they're holding them up and waving them to you. So that is going to be our check-in person or our security people who are holding them up, and what they're saying to the Rock is, hold up your card. And what do we want to show them? Oh, please, God, help us. We want to show them all green cards. Green card, yes. Now, you show them whatever card you need to. If we're missing a child, we're going to show them a red card. That means they're going to be going back through, there's 2 people going back through that room and through that building, or 3 or 4 of us all through that room. The other 2 people who will also have a vest on in the case of an emergency is, so I, as a staff person, as a staff pastor, I should not have a vest on. The only people should have vest ons is a rock. Have it on today. The rock, all the rocks. So if we have 5 rooms operating, we should have 5 vests out here in this children's ministry area. If we have 4 rooms operating, we should have 4 vests. If we have 3 rooms operating, we should have 3 vests. So depending on how many rooms we have operating in there is how many we should have out here. Then the other 2 people that will have a vest on will be the check-in person and the door security person should have a vest on. So at that point, if we had 5 rooms open and those 2, we should have 7 people that have a vest on. That's it. That's it, 7 people. Here's what's gonna happen. We have an emergency. Let's say it's a real emergency, a real fire. You're out here. No one gives their children to the parents. The rock is the only one authorized to give the children to the parent. However, we do not want the children to be released to their parents until the emergency personnel in charge, which is a police chief or a police captain, fire. When the fire emergency people are here, all those people that are here, they are the ones who tell us that we can release the children to their parents. Why is that? So let's look through the why, because there's a why. Guess what? We got all this parking lot. It's the police chief and the fire chief is the one who knows, hey, we still got 3 more emergency vehicles that's got to come on this parking lot. We got 2 more emergency vehicles that's got to come on this parking lot. If you start releasing the children to their parents and they're running across the parking lot with their kid, I'm gonna leave, I wanna leave. Guess what happens? Now we have a parking lot full of kids and parents that are running to go get in their car trying to leave when we got emergency vehicles trying to get in the parking lot. Ain't good. So guess what? We're all out here and we're all huddled together and we're staying here, and the parents, guess what? Parents, you get to stay over there. If we may invite, in those cases, we may invite parents to come and be with their children to stand next to them, because it's going to be chaotic and the parents, and then we'll go, once you come in the square and you come and join us over here, you're staying in the square, you're not released. We are all waiting to be released by the fire marshal when it's safe to go get in your car and leave. Okay, we'll work out some of those logistics, but here's the deal. We don't want to release the parents to the kids to be walking across the parking lot and creating a worse nightmare. If you think of an active shooter situation, when there's an active shooter, what is the big thing that they have to do? You have all these cops that have to stay outside because every parent hears at the high school, there's an active shooter, I gotta go run, go get my kid, I gotta run, get my kid. And all the parents want to go run and get their kids. And the police force has to stop them and go, sorry, you can't run and get your kids. You can't run and get your kids until this crime scene and all the stuff is settled down. And it may be 2 hours or 3 hours before they finally release the kids. Back to the parents and all that, because they got to deal with all the other things going on that you don't know about. So again, as the responsibilities of a rock, I hope you understand and realize that when you take on the responsibility of saying, hey, I'm going to work with the kids, the responsibility that we put on the rock, the responsibility we put you on the check-in people, the responsibility of the people who are security, we're wanting to do this. Here's the deal. How many opportunities, how many times are we going to have a fire? I have known of one false alarm of a fire in all the churches I ever served at. And it was a false alarm. A child actually pulled a false alarm trigger. It was a special needs child, and the parents weren't watching. They were talking, and next thing you know, the kid over there going, "Hey, what's this?" And we had to evacuate the building. It wasn't a real emergency, but we all evacuated the building and walked outside calmly, and it was cool. It was sort of almost like, oh, practice drill. But there you are. Those responsibility. The last responsibility and the last thing is active shooter situation. The active shooter situation, and I'll talk to you from out here. It's windy. Hopefully I can walk in. I'll start walking inside. An active shooter is we lock down the rooms. If you're outside, you're coming inside, of course. So this is an active shooter, or what we call lockdown. So we're calling it a lockdown because we don't want to walk around, there's active shooter. We want to say, there's a lockdown. A lockdown, all the elementary will go into the 456 room. The 456 room will be locked, okay? The doors that are into this building that stay locked during the services will be locked. And then the check-in door that's right by the boys' bathroom will be shut and locked. We turn off lights as though no one's here, even though we're there, and we're quiet. So on that, we're quiet, we're praying, and we're in a lockdown mode. So in lockdown mode, we're just all in that area, the kids' area. Turning lights out, one of the issues about turning all the lights out is we don't have natural lighting in those rooms, so we probably will not be turning out the lights, because then that's really scaring the kids. So we'll probably have the lights on in those rooms, but we will be hunkered down and waiting for that. Again, what are we going to do? We're gonna be doing a roll call. You got to have your roll, got to have your vest on, and you're ready. Hey, all of these things that we talk about, and the reason that we know and we learn about these things is because we want to, again, be safe. We want to be safe for these kids, and we want ourselves to be safe. I've been in all these different churches and all these different scenarios, and I can tell you that all the things that we're putting in place are just so that we're prepared to keep our kids and ourselves safe in those situations, and to think about these things ahead of time. We love you. Thank you for working with us, understanding these things. Thank you for watching this video. If you finish this video and you've watched these, if you have questions, here's the deal. We in no way want to keep you from understanding or having your questions answered. So please, you can email kids@waterhousechurch.com, kids@waterhousechurch.com for any questions that you have. We want to answer your questions. We are not trying to hide anything. If you have an idea or a suggestion of something that we completely forgot, didn't know, sometimes we've maybe thought about things, or maybe we've dealt with them, but we just don't have it in the book because we're not trying to make it a major policy. We're trying to cover the things that would be our major overarching policies. And we know we're not going to cover 100% of every situation and everything that would happen, but we feel like that this is definitely some main protocols that we want to know that you're a part of. But get a hold of us, call us, text us with any questions you have. And then the last thing that you need to do, now that you have watched these videos, you've read this, if you have any questions, the biggest thing, you're ready to be a part. We're ready for you to be a part. I'll tell you, most of the time we're playing games, having fun, teaching kids the Word of God, raising our hands, worshiping. There's all sorts of fun things that we're doing. So most of the time, we're not doing all of these protocols and all these things that we've had to deal with and that we've had to talk with. But again, it's the rules of the road that we needed to go through and understand. And now that we know them, now that you know them, sign that form. And if you will fill out that form and turn that into us, and we'll get you ready to go. If you're not involved yet, we will get you ready to go. We've got a 30-minute interview, and a lot of those, if you've already watched the video, then it's cool. You already know a lot of things. What we may do on a 30-minute interview, we just walk through a few things, answer a few of your questions, and we get you involved and loving and working with kids. We love you guys. Can't wait to have you help us and be a part of Waterhouse Kids.